Welcome everybody, and thank you for listening to the Better Bushcraft Podcast, a place where you will learn the skills to succeed in your next outdoor adventure. My name is Tommy Clark, your host, and this is episode 7, Christmas gift ideas and winter bushcraft chores. Before we get into today's topic, though, I want to let you know what's going on here at Better Bushcraft. Quite a bit has happened over the last week. The first two things is I got new articles up. The first one is all about how to make your own homemade MREs, and in that article I talk about in detail the different things that you can bring for your breakfast, lunch, your dinner, and even snacks, all to vary it up. They're all low cost, they all don't need refrigeration, and they taste great, so be sure you check out that article. And the second one I put up is titled, Start Asking for Those Christmas Trees, and I'll just let you read the article of why you should start asking your friends and family for their Christmas trees that they bought, the real ones. So anyways, be sure you check out the article for some great tips for that. I also put up 2 new videos on the website and on YouTube as well. The first one is a review of my Maxpedition backpack. It's a great backpack that I use for bushcrafting. I've had it over a year now, and it really is a great backpack. It stands up to everything I throw at it. So be sure you check out that video and see what it's all about. And if you're in the market for a new backpack, I definitely recommend the one that I have. So be sure you check out that video. And then the second one that I put up is about homemade egg carton fire starters and how to make them. I mentioned the egg carton fire starter in a previous podcast before, but in this video I show you how to make it. They're really easy to make, and I also show you how easy they are to light with a fire steel and how long they burn. So be sure you check out that video. Another thing that's going on here at Better Bushcraft is I've been getting into touch with some great companies to do a couple different things, to do some reviews for them and reviews for their products. So I'm pretty excited about that. They're really quality companies that I feel good about promoting, and also do some reviews for them. So hopefully I'll be shooting some video and stuff about that in the near future. I'm also getting connected with a great bushcraft magazine to promote it and hopefully get some interviews going with the people there. This magazine, I've been a subscriber for about 6 months now. I've been really impressed with the quality and the things that they have in there. They have great content, and they got great writers. One of the people there at that magazine is a really high-profile person, so hopefully I'll be getting an interview with some of them in the near future as well and put that on the podcast, so I'm really excited about that one. I've also started working on some outlines for some bushcraft training sessions here in 2012. I'm pretty sure these will be in, Kansas or in this general area. I'm kind of getting some ideas going to some people about that. So hopefully we'll be doing some weekend training sessions, maybe get a big group out and all practice our bushcraft and get some people lined up to do some different training seminars and stuff like that. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think the first one will be in late spring, so be sure you check out the website and keep in contact so you know when that first one will be in case you're in the area. And then lastly, I have put up a free email newsletter now, and you can sign up for that by going to the website, betterbushcraft.com, and the email newsletter will have, just to get tips and get some great content that is only on the newsletter. And also, may even have some contests exclusively for those who receive the newsletter, so be sure you sign up for it. I'm going to be doing a giveaway here within the next month or so, more details are coming, but be sure you sign up for that newsletter so you get, some great tips, content, and be signed up for giveaways of some great products. And you can sign up for that newsletter by just going to the website, and on the right side of the page, right on top, you'll see a place where you can sign up. Just put in your first name and your email, and there you go. You're signed up for the free email newsletter, as well as some contests that will be coming your way, so be sure you check that out. So anyways, let's just jump into today's topic. It's Christmas time, as I'm recording this. It's actually December 7th today, but it's just around the corner, so if you're listening to this in the future, I apologize, but you'll still get some great ideas. So anyways, like I said, it's Christmas time, and I've been writing out my list for my own people that I send out my Christmas list to and stuff like that, to my wife and some friends and family members. So anyways, some of the things that I put on my own Bushcraft Christmas list is on here, as well as some other gift ideas for those people that are into bushcraft. So one of the first things that I'm asking for personally is a new axe. I have a couple great axes and they work great, but I want something really small, really compact that I can throw in my backpack and just use, for a day of bushcrafting without putting too much equipment in my bag. So I'm asking for the backpacks from Gerber. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it, but it's a really small hand axe. It's pretty much a hatchet, but it's really great. It's got great reviews on it. I've used one before and it's awesome. So I'm asking for one of those, as well as I'm asking for a new bushcraft knife. Now I have some great knives. I have the K-Bar BK2, which is a great knife, and also have my Moore Clipper, which is a great knife as well. But I'm kind of a knife enthusiast. I love collecting knives, and I love the different styles and stuff. So I'm asking for a couple new ones, and I really like the ones from Blind Horse Knives. If any of you are familiar with their line of work, if you're not, you can check out their website. They're just Blind Horse Knives, and they have some really great knives, really cool styles and stuff, and pretty affordable as well. So hopefully I'll be getting one of those and shooting a video after Christmas time. So anyways, I'm also asking for, just various gadgets and gear that I've seen over the internet and some of the local outdoor shops here. So, just a lot of small stuff. So anyways, if you're looking to get someone a gift for bushcrafting, if they're into it, or someone that you want to get into it, I started buying some gifts for my younger brother. He's now 16, but I've been buying him some stuff for bushcrafting over the last couple years, and he's really been getting more interested now that he has some of the gear and stuff. So we like to go out and practice our fire making skills and stuff like that. So if you have someone like that in your life, here's some ideas for some gifts, and all of these are pretty much under $20, which makes it great. Sometimes, especially now with the economy and stuff, money's a little tight. So these are all great gifts for under $20 that you could buy someone that loves to go bushcrafting or camping and stuff like that. So one of the first things that I suggest that you'd buy someone, in case they either don't have much gear or no gear at all, is just get them a great fire steel. It's one of the most fun things that I've got for myself when I started bushcrafting. It's because it's really cool to be able to start a fire just from some sparks, And so I suggest you go out and buy someone a Strike Force fire steel. I did a video review of mine. I love this fire steel. I have tons of fire steels, but this is one that you can find readily available at most outdoor shops. It's really large, really easy to use, so that person doesn't even need to have a knife with them at all times because it has a great striker. So I suggest you go out and buy Strike Force fire steel. I think they're like $18 or something like that. And it's really cool for everybody. That was the first thing I bought my brother, and that was a few years ago, and he loves it, and he's used it many times. So anyways, there's a great gift for under $20. The next thing that you could buy someone, is just a canteen with a canteen cup. One of the most important things that they can bring out with them is, some water and something to boil stuff in. So go out to an Army surplus store and pick out, a great canteen cup and a canteen, and I'm pretty sure they'll be pretty excited about that as well. So also, for someone that doesn't have a setup for a shelter, you can just go out and buy a tarp and some paracord. Go out to either an outdoor store and buy like an 8x10 tarp and buy like 100 feet of paracord. That's a really awesome gift, for someone to be able to start learning how to build their own shelters and just work on their skills that way. So, an 8x10 tarp costs maybe $10, and 100 feet of paracord maybe another $10. So it's under $20 or just right at $20, and they'll have a lot of fun working with that. So, and I like the tarps that have like the camo on one side and the blaze orange on the other. And you can even find those. I've seen them around like at some of the larger hardware stores and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that one. Oh, another thing that you could buy someone is obviously a good knife. I suggest for a knife under $20 is a Mora clipper. You can find it online. I think they run at $15, so even with shipping, it should be right at $20. It's a great starter knife for someone to use, and you can't go wrong with it pretty much. So, just a great small knife, or if you don't want to buy just a full knife, you could buy even a pocket knife, that'd work as well. So you can go to like Walmart or something to buy a pocket knife. But I suggest for bushcrafting, you buy a fixed blade knife like a Mora, and like I said, you can't go wrong with that. For someone else, you could buy them a compass. You can get some decent compasses for under $20 if someone wants to practice their navigation skills and stuff like that. Or for someone that has the basic setup for bushcraft, but maybe they don't have a good compass. So that'd be a pretty cool gift as well. For another gift idea, you can get the Frontier Pro water straw that I put on a video and also mentioned in the previous podcast for those people that have pretty much everything, that's what I'm saying. So a good water straw, and for those of you who don't know what that is, it's pretty much just a water filter attached to a straw, and they can drink water straight from the stream or whatever without worrying about getting any of the bacteria or anything like that. So you can find those online for under $20, and it's a great gift for those people that have pretty much everything. And I'm going to throw out a couple more gift ideas for those of you that are needing some ideas. The first thing is just an emergency blanket. You can get one of those small, compact ones that are impossible to fold back up. I think they run about $5 or so. It's always great to give to someone that has everything, or to someone that's just starting out as well, because emergency blanket, it's not one of the more flashy things, but it's something that will help protect them if a bad situation comes about, and they're pretty cool as well, so most people enjoy them. So emergency blanket, as well as you can give someone a headlamp. Now, I have a couple of flashlights, but I have yet to get myself a headlamp, and I really should, because I like the idea of being able to have light, at night without having to use one hand holding the flashlight. So those headlamps, you can get for around $20 or so, and they work really great. My buddy has one. It's really bright, which I'm really surprised about. And your hands free, so you can wear that while you're doing other tasks with both your hands. So a headlamp is definitely a cool choice, and I might even add that to my own list now that I think about it. I need to make a note about that. So and some other things, some gloves, either leather gloves or something just to keep their hands warm. An Esbit pocket stove is always cool. I got mine a while back, and it's really awesome. It's a quick way to make some tea or a quick meal without having to make a fire. So look into the Esbit pocket stove, and you can find those online for about $10, and they're really awesome. I guarantee whoever receives it will think it's awesome. So the other things that someone can get for $20 is a folding saw. Obviously, why you need it. You need to cut some wood to process. So a good folding saw, and also the last thing I have on my list is a wool blanket. Those run about $20 at an Army surplus store. Keep them warm even when it's wet, and it's cool. So anyways, those are some gift ideas for under $20 that you can give to someone, or even put on your own list if you need some ideas as well. But it's a pretty extensive list, so I'm sure one of those things will work for that person in your life that is interested in bushcraft. So anyways, I'm going to switch gears now and talk a little bit about some winter camp chores. In the wintertime, there's some things that change, obviously, besides just the weather. And those are some of the things that you need to do while you're out bushcrafting that you don't necessarily have to do, when it's warmer outside. So I have a list of 10 things some things to consider when you're out bushcrafting in the winter. And the first thing is just to make sure you clear any area of snow. Now, that seems pretty obvious, but I've been out with some people, and they start making a fire on top of the snow. And I'm like, what are you doing, So whenever you set up camp or whatever, just make sure you clear away the snow from your fire pits and for where you're going to sit and set up camp and stuff like that. So, make sure, especially when you start a fire, that you brush away the snow to the bare ground so you're not lighting it on top of the snow and then it melts down and puts out your fire. So that's the main thing, and it's pretty much an obvious one, but, some people don't even consider that. So that's the first thing. And the second thing goes right along with that, is just to dust off the snow from all your firewood before you place it around the fire to dry out. Another thing that I learned the hard way was I just grab my firewood and throw it by the fire and then wonder why it's starting to get wet, because the fire's melting the snow and the water gets into the wood, and that's not good. So just be sure you dust off all your firewood before you put it by your fire, and then you just put it around your fire and let it dry out that way. So make sure you do that. Number 3 is if you're trying to melt snow for water, add some small amounts and then it works better. The first time I tried to melt snow, man, this is years ago, but I thought that you could just fill up a cup and melt it down and it'll turn into water, and it didn't work out as well as I planned. So I learned a trick a while back about just adding it in small amounts. So you have your canteen cup right by the fire, get nice and warm, and you add a small handful of snow and let it melt down into water. And then once you got some water in your cup, then you can start adding some snow into it, and it slowly just keeps melting and adding more and more water. It works way better this way. So there's a pretty neat tip if you ever wondered if you can melt snow. Some people say you can, some people say you can't. It is possible, but you kind of have to be patient with it and not just pack your canteen cup full of snow and expect it to work out as well as you plan. So something better than snow, obviously, is just collect ice to melt and to drink it. The reason is because ice has a way more water to air ratio to it. It's more dense with water than it is of air. But make sure you still boil it. People eat icicles and stuff like that, which is fine. But if you're going over like a lake or a stream and you're breaking the ice and pulling it up, make sure you still boil it just to make sure that it's clean and you're not going to get any type of bacteria or virus from it. So there's another tip for you. Number 5 is, all about ice fishing. Ice fishing is really fun to try. It's a little bit more difficult. Now, for me, I'm a pretty decent fisherman, in the summer and spring and stuff like that in the fall. But winter ice fishing is not something that I'm too familiar with because here in Kansas, we do have some freeze-ups over our lakes and streams and stuff like that, but it's not very popular, at least where I live. So I had to learn some of these things, but I love winter ice fishing. It's really fun, just break up the ice, with your axe in a couple different areas and set some jigs up and hopefully you catch something. But, you got to be really patient with winter ice fishing. And one of the best things to do is just to set up a flag system. And basically, you break a hole, maybe like 6 inches in diameter or so. You put your line in, and then you attach the top part of your line to a stick, maybe like a 10-inch stick. And then you kind of cross another stick, so it's almost like a T pattern. And you tie the line to that end of that T pattern, that top stick, and then on the other side you put a flag or a piece of bright cloth or something that you'll be able to see from a far distance. So you lay that first stick across the hole, and then when you have a fish, it pulls that other stick down, and the flag rises up, and you have a fish on the line. So it's pretty easy. I'm sure many of you already know this, but for those of you that don't have much experience with ice fishing, it's something really easy to do. And I suggest you set up maybe 3 of those, let them sit, and you can see the flags from a long ways away, like at your camp. So anyways, let's move on to number 6. And this is all about your shelter. Now, you got to add plenty of debris to your shelter if you're making some type of natural shelter. Make sure you put a lot more leaves and debris on top of it than you think you need, just to keep that heat in. And another great tip for this is, in the summertime you want to have something really open so you get a breeze, but in the winter you don't want to build your shelter too big so you don't have to heat up a very large area. I really like the spider shelter, which is pretty much a low profile shelter. You crawl into it, you have a little room, but you can't really sit up in it too much. But the great thing about that is if you have a fire outside, or even if you have a small fire inside, if you're very careful, you don't have to have a whole bunch of heat to keep it warm. So, just make sure you add plenty of debris to it and keep your shelter as small as possible so you don't have to heat up so much. And make sure you insulate yourself off the ground. That's just very, very important. Either with pine boughs or some leaves or something. You don't want to be laying on that icy cold ground. You want to have something in between you and the ground, and that way you provide insulation from it as well. So just make sure you make your shelters a little bit more robust that way. Another great thing to do, and something fun to do, is just build a reflection wall on the other side of your fire to bounce the heat back to yourself. You don't really have to do this in the summer because it's very, very hot anyways. You don't really want that. But, when it's colder outside, just build a reflection fire, maybe between you and the fire if you're sitting there, and then on the other side of the fire, maybe 3 feet away or so, depending on how big your fire is, of course. You stack up some logs or some rocks or something to reflect that heat back towards you and your shelter. It works really great, and it's really easy to do, and it's a lot of fun to build, I think. So anyways, number 8 is to double the amount of wood that you think you need to last through the night. Man, have I learned this the hard way more than once. It really sucks having to go out in the dark. It's not very safe also, but make sure you have plenty of firewood to keep the fire going throughout the night if you're staying out overnight. Just double them out. Make a big freaking pile, and then when you think you have enough, double it. That way you have enough, and you don't have to go out in the middle of the night, and it's a lot more convenient that way. So make sure you do that. Number 9 is make sure you eat a lot of food. You need your calories to keep your body warm, and a lot of people don't pack enough food throughout the winter. They pack the same amount that they would in the summer, and they realize they might not be hungry, but they're really, really cold. It's like, why is that? Because your body's using a whole bunch of calories just to keep your body warm. So double the amount of food that you need to bring. If you don't eat it all, you bring it back home. Not that big of a deal, but you don't want to be out there realizing that you didn't bring enough food. So, bring some extra carbohydrates and extra protein, and I show you all about that in the article that I wrote about making homemade MREs, but just make sure you bring enough. Along with that, make sure you drink plenty of fluids. You got to drink a lot of water and drink a lot of hot liquids as well. Some hot tea or even some cocoa or some coffee if you're a coffee drinker. Just get those fluids in your body, keep your body where it needs to be, as well as with the hot liquids, it keeps your body warm. So make sure you do that. And then lastly, I have is just go out and track in the snow. Something that I haven't done too much in the past, but it's a lot of fun, is just to go out after the snow has fallen overnight or whatever, and look to see for if there's any new game trails, rabbit tracks or squirrel tracks or anything like that. It's a lot of fun. That way you can set up traps where you think that where the game trail goes. You can see where they're all going, and you can set up some snares as well, if allowed in your state. And if it's not allowed in your state, it's even fun just to track the game trail anyway, see where they're going, kind of enforce that with some sticks, so they have to go through this certain area, build a snare trap or whatever, and then take it down. it's not a wasted exercise, because who knows, if you ever actually needed it, at least you have spent the time to go through the process and make that, so you know how to make it and not wondering, okay, how do I do this again? So, it's even fun just to, find a game trail and then set up a snare or a trap, and then don't leave it, of course, but set it off, make sure you know that it worked and stuff like that. So it's something else that's really fun. So anyways, guys, if you want to send me a question, comment, or suggestion about the show or about the website, you can send it to idea@betterbushcraft.com, and I would appreciate any questions or comments or suggestions that would help the show go a little bit better, or for the website. So, and be sure to check out my YouTube channel. It's going pretty well. I'm getting more subscribers every week and more views, so I'm pretty excited about that. And you can find me on YouTube just by entering Better Bushcraft. And then follow me on Twitter at Tommy B. Clark. That's Tommy, the letter B, Clark. Got some interesting things going on Twitter as well, so it's pretty fun there. And then be sure you sign up for the free monthly newsletter, and you can do that at betterbushcraft.com. Like I said, it's free. You'll get a newsletter each month, so be sure you sign up for that. So anyways, guys, thanks for listening, and until next time, be safe and go out and practice your winter bushcraft skills, and you guys take care.